Hello friends, today let us look into one of the reference architecture. This is a very simple and basic reference architecture. This design suits for a business or a company which has their services running in one particular region and they have not spanned across multiple regions. In this example of reference architecture, we have a virtual network created. It is a virtual network which is created, and we have three subnets which has been created. Each subnet has some virtual machines which are allocated. These virtual machines can be of availability set, or it can be an individual virtual machines. If you are placing an individual virtual machine for these kind of design, the virtual machines SLA will be 99.9% for any virtual machine which is a standalone virtual machine. If it is used in a availability set, then the SLA will be 99.95% of SLA. What you get. If you are creating a virtual machine which is spanning across multiple zones, that will be considered as 99.99% of SLA, because you are creating virtual machines in two different zones. Even if a zone fails, in that case, one of the virtual machine will be up and running. There is a load balancer which is created. This load balancer is a zonal load balancer. You can see there are three load balancers which are created. In each of the zones, because the virtual network spans across multiple zones, you have the virtual network spanning across multiple zones. This particular subnet can also communicate between the other zones. For the load balancer, the backend is the virtual machines or the virtual machine part of the availability set. So this will be the virtual machines, and all the incoming traffic, it will hit this load balancer. This load balancer has individual IPs. For all the three load balancer, you have an individual IPs configured, and it will be a zonal IP which you will be using for these load balancer. When you design this kind of architecture, you need to have three IPs for each load balancer. Basically, the cost for these three IPs will be associated to it, and whenever there is an incoming request from the external network, or if it is an internal load balancer, then this load balancer IP will be the listener for the incoming traffic, and this will be your backend. This kind of design works well when the company or the business wanted to keep all their services in a particular zone due to performance or latency issues, and they don't want to spread their traffic to be traveled from one zone to another zone. This kind of design has a resiliency problem, and there will be no resiliency for the virtual machines whatever we are creating. If at all, if it is a single virtual machine, then it will have 99.9% of SLA, and if it is kept in an availability set, then it will be 99.95% of SLA. And also you will incur cost for these IPs which you are going to create for three different load balancer, and you will be associating these IPs to the load balancer. I have taken this image from Microsoft.com, and this is part of a reference architecture document, and whenever you wanted to design any architecture diagrams or design for Azure, you have to ask certain questions, and these are the questions which needs to be asked. What are the availability requirements? How much downtime is acceptable, and how much will potential downtime cost your business? How much should you invest in making the application highly available in the event of disaster? How much data loss is acceptable for the business? What are the data backup requirements, and what are the data replication requirements? What are the monitoring requirements? Does your application have specific latency? These are the questions which needs to be asked before creating any design. Thank you for watching the video. Please subscribe if you like the content. Thank you. Take care.